All right. Hey, ladies. Hey, ladies. Happy Saturday. I haven't been on since last week, and this is Healed Woman Summer. Healed Woman Summer. And I am so excited right now to have author Latwaina Kelley here. And she is going to help us, ladies, get some healing this summer. So Latwaina Kelley has wrote a book. It is called Damaged Crown Still Shine. Y'all, and she sent me a package, okay? And I'm gonna show y'all. Cause y'all know presentation is everything in your business. And when I got this package, I was so excited, right? It came in this beautiful box. Look at this box, right? This is how you send your packages out to your clients. It has a workbook, y'all, a workbook. And then it comes with the book, Damaged Crown Still Shine, a bookmark, hello? So you can mark your place in your book card. So I am so excited. I am Latwaina Kelley. Latwaina, please.
Hello, everybody. I am the author of Damaged Crown, Your Crown. First, I am a wife, mother of a 28-year-old, and I still got it.
You do.
I am a
Now, I met Latwaina actually on Instagram, and it's been about, and she was one of my previous that I coach women in business. I help them gain clarity, and I'm going to start off this live by asking Latwaina some questions, right? Me as a coach. Now, Latwaina went through my coaching program. Now she is on TikTok Live. She sold over 500 books, but we're going to get into that. Latwaina, can you tell me what was your
overcoming challenges? She helped push me and I am today because I was, shy. I didn't know how. Coach Kiera, she got me all the way together. Yes, it's all a life coach.
Yes, and one of the things that I loved about Latwaina, I taught her concepts. She took action. She was getting her book repaired. Her book wasn't out, so she was working on her speaking. She was working streams with her spouse, and that's what coaches love. We are engaging and listening, but we love students that take Latwaina is she take action on her goal. Another thing, what were 3 strategies you learned from me as a coach?
Self-care and accountability. Yes. I learned how to be accountable. I learned care. Let me tell you, if and a mother, I didn't know to care or pour into me.
Yeah, I remember what? Calendar 2 days for my ladies, 2 days. Do y'all know the next coaching section? She was like, here, I scheduled all these focus on me. And a lot of lives that we focus on everybody else besides focus on ourselves, we're declining. Our health is declining because we don't take, and that's yourself. And I for doing that, right? Drastic because of that.
Yes, and also my meditating increased, and closet, coach.
And we're gonna get it. that author Latwaina Kelley is teaching you guys how she recovered was through. So thank you so much for being here. I don't know like, whether you know it or not, but together for life. Okay. So right.
Okay.
So what motivated a speaker, coach? What motivated you to
Is been hurt as a child, and day after it happened to me, seeing so many people out here hurting. A chance, because there's a lot of us out here alive, and by I am healed from it. When I tell y'all I became an open book, I pour it, help with it, and so they both go together. I really just wanted to open, because see, can't nobody something that they never been, and hurt people was so as well. So many people out here going through trauma, that they need to thank God for my trauma, that gave God all of me, finisher of my faith, and I meant to get there.
and we're definitely in alignment with trauma, right? I've had physically and mentally, right? And I've had to and it feels grieve it. This past year, I lost 4 people that were very close, 2 of my biggest supporters. After my dream, after every live, I'm family member to really push. I'm still in my grieving process. Other women, right? So I love, right?
And it's good to hear that you bonus children. I don't call them step kids. Right? And we lost them a year apart. He turned his pain to coach, and he poured to other people. Past stuck in that, I would have been ran back and to go through. So it means that we stuck. We got to keep going through it. We have to have a voice. I thank God for people hear my voice, because guess what? I'm ready to go live, but honey, once I need nobody. Get to where I need to do, because everybody ain't meant to do it with you.
You touched on that because this week from God is here. I call. Sometimes God wants us to show up, person and that person and this person. No, I've called you.
Sometimes we got to go along.
And sometimes you have, and I just want to say that because I said everybody who passed, those people, right, who are women online, you know what I mean? You have to find um, positive support from. I know before Luana was talking about TikTok business on our lives too, because it's a success. But could you give us a little bit more the pain and trauma that you see in sell books? Can you tell us how you're growing your business on TikTok?
It's the number one platform. You can go in there and say whatever you want to say. One platform because all that business out, like Coach business out on TikTok, and it's this is what I do. I take dealt with one by one and go sexual assault, and I go on and I speak about 200 to 300 people in my life, and he said, "Go out and speak to the people." I'm gonna send people. I'm gonna give you what to speak and what to say. Reach people. That's going. It's going to take time. It all depends how. And when you go on and you I learned that from Coach Karen. You're gonna be able to resonate what you're going through. Something meaning behind it.
And I love that. Right? And you have to think of socialized. Those are generate income for you to get. So Facebook is one of my bigger nurtured TikTok, right? You know, since I know that, I'll go to there and growing all day. But we want to start talking about this that I know that you talked about. Go ahead.
Empowerment. Even on all your social media, hashtag you won't really meet clubs. Hashtag Tyler Perry book. Hashtag it. And hashtag we're gonna move forward. But he says hashtag your name, hashtag your business.
Oh, that is great. That's great. That's great. So yesterday it was this influencer. I'm like, who is this? Hold up, you know? So people, more regular people, more people. So, like she said, your name are important, like the people in the and yours is too. So,
they're at everyone. Used to now, my husband get 50 and stuff with through hashtags and add everyone, then you can add.
that's the sauce. Look at the sauce.
I get the sauce. I said, okay, you got the sauce. I got the sauce.
Start believing that your experience in life is experienced in life, and there is going to relate to Latwaina Kelley talks about in her book, Sheep of the Family. We are living in times where a lot with relationships book Damaged Crown Still Shine, the black sheep of the family.
I got sexual assaulted by my uncle by marriage. The suspect, and he was the black sheep. Nobody in the family knew how to handle it. I mean, literally nobody still today. So we got to learn to heal from that and move forward. A family outside a family. Grandmother, I had an auntie, I had my father. You build outside like you, who don't love you, who not dealing with me, baby. You're gonna be stuck and you're gonna be it's very sad. It's okay. That's what he told me. He spoke that to me. You're not the black sheep. It's different. And you different people. It's okay. God is going to take you places. So it's real to do being pushed away, being sad place, and I just thank God that I'm not.
So how were you able to? You said so they own flesh and blood, and I know that. How were you able to rebuild your self-esteem, rebuild your like you're not wanted, you're not good enough, you don't fit, rebuild yourself, and like you said, create relationships and new family.
My mother built the foundation for it, teaching me to love the Lord first. So my faith in God and where I was headed at the time. And I end up become pregnant at the age of 16. That I had a job to do to love a human. And my baby loved me back, and I wanted to be the best mother in the world, no matter what, at all costs. And love came along, loving him, and we loved I had. It was God and my two children. And in my prayer life, bringing them up in church and teaching them how to pray is what kept me end up healing from that.
Wow, that's amazing. It takes a lot of strength to raise a at the age of 16 where you're still learning and you're that's
Yes.
really tough. So can you help those with mothers and who were outcast from the family or who became at a later age, right? Can you help them get through some obstacles you had to go through within raising your children
Well,
alone with a
what
single?
happened was, my dad is dating and how to, and one was always keep a roof over your head and some wheels on. At the age of 21, and my daughter at this time, um, I ended up buying a home, closing on a home, I should say. At the age of 21, I got the keys to my home. Birthday, April the 7th. I'll never forget it. And it was a 3-bedroom house, and I knew everything. I gave it to my children. Then I had a time in my life. It was I called her my stepmom at one point. That she a woman always supposed to have washer, dryer, stove, and refrigerator. She made sure I had all of that. Responsible with paying bills and things like that because the bills ain't gonna pay itself. So that was instilled into me that I
Mm,
do everything that I want a mother. I had to
mm,
give that and display that to my children, and that's what I did. I did, and of what I saw in my family, failed relationships, moving house to house. I experienced that, and I knew that I didn't want that for my children. So, mother raising 2 kids, I put this in my book about being. My stepdad at the time said, "It's mama's baby, daddy's mate. Maybe he will, and maybe he won't, but it's
mm,
mama's baby. That means you got to raise your child at all body," and that's what he instilled in me. And he made sure I was a mother to my children. I did not allow nobody else to raise my child. I couldn't. I had trust issues, so
mm,
I could with my kids, with my children, because of what happened to me. How I led up to being failed, like because my mother was on drugs and with my grandmother and my aunt, and I wasn't happy. I am abandoned and very depressed as a child. So I just gave my kids everything that I wanted. I knew after being molested at the age of 13 or 14 years old, I didn't have a choice but to mature. I wasn't invited to Christmas dinners. I wasn't invited to Thanksgiving dinners. I had to stay away from family like a nasty disease that
mm.
nobody wanted. And still to this day, I feel like my family, and I'm being honest. No, it's
Mm.
it's like because I had kids at an early age, nobody really wanted to deal with me. And I'm just telling what kind of family on here. But this is how I feel. And when I lost my father age of at I think he passed when I was 19. Yeah, I was 19 years old. Really alone. That's when I was really by myself. I really had to adult for real, for real.
Sharing that. And a lot of people feelings and their thoughts are being invested like they don't matter, and it matters. And being a part of a community and a family, it really matters. And it's a toll on your mental health,
Yeah.
because you want to be a part of something you were birthed into.
That's it.
Right? So that's traumatizing to just be ripped apart and set apart. But I always say that God sets you apart for greatness. He sets you apart, So go ahead.
Women too, and perhaps even men, because it's some men with damaged crowns as well.
Yeah.
Change your mindset. When I get, that's when I stopped letting people walk over me and use me. My husband says that you have to level up. You are a Michelle Obama. You have to you're going to make people respect you like you heard. And that's when people be talking to me any kind of way, using me for money, to clean their houses, to babysit. I mean, people were just taking advantage of me. I was gullible minded. Love so bad that I do anything to feel loved. But all I want to tell y'all that I learned, take yourself back, take your life back. You don't owe nobody nothing, zero. You owe nobody nothing. The person you owe something to is yourself. That's why they come up and say, good morning, gorgeous, self-care, queens, fix your to fix, honey. Straighten your own crown up and get to getting. No matter what you want to do, if you want to start a business, write a book, whatever you want to do. Sometimes we got to move in silence, because if family knew I was writing this book, oh boy, I would have been told, no, don't do it. I did it in silence, and once I did it in silence, it was too late. You air the family dirty laundry. So what happened to me is dirty laundry? Is that what you said? But change your mindset. You have the key. When we get on relationships, when she asked me the question about the relationship, key and the power, the Bible says when a man find a wife, he find a good thing. The next verse says, when a man, when he find getting married, wait, let me quote it right. When a man find a wife, he find a good thing, and he finds favor. Carry his favor.
Woo!
And your favor ain't relationship work, because the favor don't belong to him. Hello, but okay. The favor,
and go ahead. Go ahead.
Favor don't belong to him. When a man find a good thing, he's fine. And I ain't talk about what's between your legs either. You hold the power. You have the power. Humans, you give birth to babies. You hold the power.
Yes. So many key things that I teach in my courses. And one of the things that you mentioned was boundaries, right? You have to create boundaries around your life. I was just like you. Anything people asked me to do, I would literally just do it. And then I said, enough is enough. I'm tired. I'm depressed. I'm anxious. I'm becoming broke because I'm helping so many other people around my resources that I'm giving away to everybody, right? So life, right? And we're going to go back into the book because one of the things that you talk about when you talk about trauma is reactive, more on because women are being gaslighted to feel like their behaviors and how they're reacting is like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe trauma, right? The
Yeah.
way a lot of people are reacting in the world, the sadness, the depression, the yelling, you know, it is all from trauma. And you and forgive yourself, right?
That's
Because
key.
you've been through a lot. And if you are a woman on this earth, you are, right? So if you have reacted to any type of emotional abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, it was a reaction response to do they heal from the trauma and move their life forwards to recover.
A mindset change, wanting to don't be afraid to. I heard that you're supposed to was scared. Um, because we can't go back and change nothing we've been through, nothing that happened. That the roads will be easy. So you gotta want to heal. You gotta want to forgive yourself. You gotta want to forgive the man that sexually assaulted me. I forgive him because forgiveness is not for them; it's for you. You. I thank God today. I am free. I am free, 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 free from bondage. Because the things we part to, because
Yeah.
health is traumatizing. I woke up January the 16th and no longer could walk in that in the midst of going through that, I had the mind to say my feet will move again. My legs will move. I start speaking to dead situations. I started speaking to my legs. I I said, use my move again. Use my mind, my legs. The Lord said, pick up your bed and walk. Not literally pick up the bed, get up out of your mess and walk. Because I was laying like, okay, Lord, this is it. I said, my husband about to leave me. I said, baby, you don't love me no more. I can't walk with him. The Lord said, so literally, so when I got up on the walker to make my first steps, my husband said, what are you up to the door? I said, no, I'm about to walk up and down this hall until I walk out the door. 4 days later, I walked out the door and I was walking without a walker. Okay, because it was a mindset. You got to push yourself. You got to trust God in everything you go through. I still have some aches and pains, but I got work to do. When I was laying in the hospital, coach here, I sold 25 books from my bed. 25 books from my bed, coach. I When they saw people buying the books like I was selling drugs out the hospital room. They was knocking at the door for books. Why you didn't tell me you was an author? I worked with you. I did this. I did it. I said, I'm sorry here. And stuff like that. But it's a mindset change. It's just a want to. We're going to go through things. We're going to experience trauma. We're going to experience loss. We're going to experience all kind of stuff. But you got to want to heal. A lot of people walking around bitter. Drop that I and add the E and become better. Bitter people is out here hurting people that's receiving the generational stuff that you're passing down, then they acting and behaving like you. One thing is this, that I love my mother. I love my mother. But when I see my behaviors acting like my mother, I had to change quickly. Quickly. And I did not want to expose my children to that. So many people, because when your parents is walking around angry and mad, you don't know what trauma they experience. I believe my mother experiences something that she never talked about, and it's hurting her 68 years later. Everybody gonna experience. Some women like, oh, I ain't experienced that. I ain't experienced trauma. It's good to learn something, but you can help other people get through something. To encourage people, you got to listen. But like I'm saying, you got to really want to just move forward. They say, when they say rest in peace, do you know that's not for the dead? It's for the people that's alive. They be in peace. Let them rest and you be in peace.
Wow.
You got to release them and let them be in the heavens for you can be at peace. I remember loss of my dad, and that really broke my heart. That was my daddy. I was a daddy's girl. He was my everything, right? When he left here, I say for 3-4 years, I didn't want to let my daddy go. I remember letting him go, and I felt him release from me.
Jesus.
And guess what? I became at peace with okay that he's okay. I had to be okay that he was okay. And I just asked the Lord, if I lose my mother, anybody, don't let me lose this, because once you don't lose your mind in the midst of what you're going through, whoever that's listening to me, don't lose your mind in the midst of the process. I just look back over my life, and if I would have lost my mind, because I could have, I tried to commit suicide 3 times. I didn't want to be here. And I look back over my life now, and I would not be married for 10 years to a loving husband. I wouldn't be a mother to my children. I wouldn't be the woman I am today if I would have gave up and threw in the towel. So many times I threw in the towel, God threw it back at me and said, keep going.
Keep going.
No matter what you're going through, like, Lord, but did you see? Keep going. It's part of life. I know it hurts. Whatever you go through, baby, it hurts. And I don't never tell nobody to get over nothing. I just say get through it. Get through it. Because you got to teach your children or teach people that's looking up to you how to get through. And a lot of people don't know, but by watching, one thing my children told someone, if they can get anything from me, one want my forgiveness. Because I forgive too quick like a drop of a dime. My husband say, how do you do that? Because God, hey, that's what Jesus would do. Forgive, let go, and let God. Forgiveness is not for them, it's for me. And my son said, I forget what he said. I think it was one said forgiveness, and the other one said the willingness, my willpower. Because I let nothing stop me, and I'm always smiling.
Yes, I love that. And I love how you said the next generation, they're always watching you, right? Take my nieces and nephews to church, and they love it. Like, they literally text me like, are we going to church on Sunday? It's not just for the donuts. They want to go to church. So we go to church, and after every service, We just sit and we talk about what the preacher talked about. And it gives me time to spend with them and also an insight into their lives, right? And at church, they've been talking about what is the Ten Commandments, right? So every Sunday, I just take time just to learn more about them and their thoughts, right? Because the next generation, they matter, right? So even when they become adults and they get out into the world, they're going to remember those days when Auntie took them to church and took them to dinner and shopping after church, and we just talked, right? And they're going to always come back to God, you know?
That's it. And that's building a foundation for them. But it's so many people need to leech on and reach back to the foundation, what they taught. And my thing is for the people that don't believe, learn to believe. Try
Mm.
to believe. Believe. Because one thing that the Bible says, we overcome by our testimonies.
Yes, and the next generation is watching. And I want to talk about this because lately, within the last few years since the pandemic has started, domestic abuse for Black women is the highest it's ever been. And it's
Yes.
really scary out there. And I want you to talk to the ladies about some red flags when dating. Lawana's been married for 10 years, you know, and she has a beautiful relationship with her husband who has recently become a life coach as well. But I want you to talk about the red flags when dating. Everybody didn't grow up in a healthy situation with a healthy thing, you know, healthy parents, you know, parent them, right? Majority of Americans was only raised by mom, so they didn't see what it was like to have a healthy situation. And some people was raised in situations where there is domestic abuse inside the household growing up, which still affects them as adults, right? So I want you to talk about what are the red flags when you're starting to date, because there are so many single Black women out here who want to start dating.
What can I say this first too? And I'm talking about like I want to share my experience with domestic violence growing up in a house. My mother started dating this guy and she ended up marrying this guy. And that's when all hell broke loose. And we started seeing abuse. We started seeing screaming, yelling, mom with, bruises and we saw the violence and heard the violence in the house. And after the abuse, she right back loving him like nothing never happened. And then here come the abuse again. I mean, every day, outside, inside, go before I go to school, come back home, just seeing him just whipping my mother. And so when I started dating, I thought that was love. So I got a boot in my face. I got a baby stumped out of my stomach. I got kicked in my face, punched in my face, beat up outside, beat up in the house. I thought it was love. But something happened where I had some willpower. I threw something and it stuck the person in the eye, and I was able to call 911. And the police officer told me this: don't you ever let another man put his hands on you, because that's not love. And I had to learn that. And once I got away from, I never went through the physical abuse, but the mental and the emotional, that's a whole different ball game right there. We'll get back to that. So the red flags is a lack of communication. If a person not being able to communicate both ways and not one way, that's a red flag. Anger. If you see the person get angry, if you bump them the wrong way and something like that, run. Controlling behavior. Men can be very controlling. One-sidedness, that's not good. Disrespect and very jealous, disrespectful and very jealous. And another thing too, ladies, and this is going to be key right here: financial irresponsibilities. Okay?
Ooh, speak on that. Speak on that one.
Irresponsibility.
Ooh.
If a man can't manage money, if a man can't pay bills, if a man can't get you to where you need to go financially, sis, run. Because if you're the one being the breadwinner one-sidedly in the relationship, run. It's supposed to be two ways. Don't let nobody use you. Don't let nobody abuse you. I had to learn that when I met my husband. Now, going through dating, I went through some stuff with some men. And I let them use me. I'm up there buying love, I should say. I have a chapter in this book about buying love. Baby, love, is it safe to say love don't cost a thing?
Come on.
Love is priceless. You do not have to buy a person love. I remember when I met my husband, I used to buy him shoes, help him whatever he want. And he was like, no, baby, you ain't got to do that. But this is what I was used to doing to men. I even talk about in a book where I got let a guy get me for $21,000 in the car. And told me, I'm not your husband. I'm just preparing you for your husband. I talk about it in the book. I talk about it. You ain't ready yet.
I'm on chapter 1. I'm still being introduced to the tall, light skinned man who your mom was dating. So I'm still at the beginning. What?
Yes, I was bad. Love, coach. I didn't know any better. But let me tell you, I did not know how to be loved right by a man either. I didn't. When my husband came to about some making love, I didn't even know what making love was. It's just things that's happening that women just don't know how. They go through so much bad in men, they don't know when the real come. They don't know when a real love come, being treated right, being respected, being loved. I mean, my husband, we've been together for 12 years, been married for 10. And he never called me out my name, never cussed at me. See, I wasn't used to that. I was gangster. I was learning to treat a man the way I was being treated. I would dog men and mistreat men just because, hey, this is what they was doing to me. Hey, this is I'm about to do it back to you. But that's why I told my husband the stuff I did, I wouldn't have married me, but he said I saw the value in you. My husband loved on more on me when I got a nappy ponytail on my head and my hair ain't combed than I got on lipstick and hair. He said I fell in love with you. I didn't fall in love with the makeup, the hair, the nails and toes. I didn't fall in love with that. I fell in love with a woman that was going through something and knew how to handle her business and get through it with her children and protected her children at all costs. That's who I fell in love with. And that's exactly what read the book.
I love that. Could you tell us about the green flags, right? You identified those red flags, but could you tell us about the green flags, the green light to go, when you're dating?
Trust, um, trust, respect, caring, honesty, not angry, not disrespectful. Just so much that you can talk about. Just a person respecting you and caring about you the way you want to be cared for. Because you treat people the way you want to be treated. Now, if you a person that do some of the unthinkables, don't care how a man treats you. If he ain't treating you right, that ain't good. And if you ain't treating him right, it ain't good. So it's red flags is somebody that's positive, that's pointing to you something that you can build with, not a person, what they bring it to the table and what you can bring to the table. No. One thing I can say, when my husband met me, I lost it all. I just had lost my house, my car, my job. I didn't have nothing. Okay. He was working at the plant and he had it going on. And he fell in love with somebody that was living in the house with no lights and gas on. And they ain't had no job and had no money to pay rent. That's who he fell in love with me. That man took me, married me, bought me a house, and bought me a car, everything paid for, and helped build me so we could build each other. We built each other. Some things that I had to teach him and some things that he had to teach me. I am his second marriage. He's my first. And we had to learn something together. He's I think he's 5 years older than me. But, he tried to act like he's my daddy at times. And, sometimes and sometimes it's not. And like I told him, he didn't marry no mute. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you ain't married no mute. But it's all about love and respect. It's about understanding. It's about um, agreeing to do things together. Like what me and him do around the house, even though I'm talking to the single people, is that doing things together. When he got to go outside and cut the grass, guess what? I'm out there sweeping. I push the lawnmower, you edge. Working together, building
Yeah.
an empire together.
Yeah. You're on
And
the same team, right?
we
So I
are
just want to ask you because we got to start wrapping this up. We could go on forever. We'll do this again, right?
right, right.
What is it that you have going on in the future? How can they contact you? How can they get a book? How can they get in your coaching program? How can they get to you?
All my platforms is Latwaina Kelley, my first name and last name. That's my brand. On my platform, if you need to find me, Google my name. Everything will come up about me. Google. I think I hashtagged enough for Google to let y'all know everything about me. My website is www.lawanakelley.com. That's where you purchase my book. That you can get a signed copy and perhaps a gift. The boxes. Could you hold that box up for me?
Oh, where am I?
Boxes that Coach Kiera showed you, those cost $5 extra. They're not free, but they some nice gifts. And could you open it up for me? Thank you. And it says, no matter what your crown been through, it still shine, and it be cute and decorated real pretty. But yeah, so that's how you can reach out to me. That's how you can find my book. And what was the other question you asked again?
What do you have going on in the future?
I am working on having a women empowerment damaged crown still shine event, or it's going to be called the Jewels for Your Crown event. Come get your jewels for your crown. And I'm going to have it where we have like workshops going on. I want to have coaches come. Like I want a life coach to come speak. I want speakers there, life coaches, health coaches, mental health coaches. I want different women to come speak. I want women that been through something to help other women to better themselves and get through it. And I said I wanted 25 women there. My husband said you will have 150 there. So pray my strength in this. And so I have that event coming up. That's going to be next year, April. And just trying to just put things together. To someone told me, asked me, have I been to any speaking engagements? I said no. She said, are you looking? I said, I'm scared. She said, well, won't you build your own speaking engagement? It start with you. She said, rent you a hall, put something together, and you speak to the people, because God is going to give you everything that you need to say. And that's where I'm at with that.
Yes, I love it. And I just want to say I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you. You have so much confidence in yourself. You speak so well. You're hosting vendor events, women empowerment events, lives. Like you're doing everything that you were called to do on this earth. And we honor you and we thank you for sharing your intimate story with us today. We'll go live again in the future, guys. So I want to thank everybody for showing up. You can always find me at Coach Kiera everywhere. I help women in business gain clarity and focus. I also help them with their life and their spiritual life, their health. So we do have an accountability community that we help each other reach our goals. And we have gotten some amazing testimonies this week in our accountability group. We also have a spiritual community where we meet every single month, right? It's our prayer circle where we go in community with other women and we pray for each other. We have some phenomenal leaders in that community. We have one more Healed Woman Summer that's going to be coming up in 2 weeks. I'm excited about that. And me and somebody else is planning something that's going to be very good for you ladies, very impactful. So I love y'all, and I will see y'all in 2 weeks. Bye.